The northwestern province of Qinghai has been struck with 2 tremors at a focal depth of 10 kilometers within 20 minutes this morning. There were no immediate reports of casualties. The China Earthquake Network Center says the earlier 5.7 magnitude earthquake jolted Qinghai's remote Qinghai County at 11:16 a.m., followed by another one that had a magnitude of 5.8. The epicenter was located in a sparsely populated, high-altitude area about 244 kilometers away from provincial capital Xining, where noticeable tremors were felt. Some locals noticed the crystal chandelier on the ceiling was swaying slightly. Some received alerts on their phones. Online footage showed cracks that opened in the ground as the land shook. Authorities have not yet received any reports of building collapses, while emergency response teams are on their way to the epicenter, according to state-run Xinhua News Agency. Lanzhou City and neighboring Gansu province was also impacted by the quakes. Addressing the retirement of Judge Wilson Chan following his involvement in multiple instances of judicial plagiarism, Chief Executive John Lee stresses his concern over the situation, while noting his respect for Chief Justice of the Court of Final Appeal Andrew Chung's decision of asking Chan to step down from his position. This as he affirms his confidence in the quality of Hong Kong's judicial authorities. Timothy Lee has more.
Set to retire this Friday, Court of First Instance Judge Wilson Chan appeared at work as usual earlier today. According to the judiciary's website, Chan had to handle 2 cases this morning, one of which involved the trafficking of dangerous drugs, where he instructed the jurors on their verdict. Despite having been called out for engaging in multiple instances of judicial plagiarism over the past decade, Chan did not heed the warnings. Chief Justice of the Court of Final Appeal, Andrew Chung, issued a statement on Monday which called for the need to maintain the public's trust in the judiciary's independence and demanded Chan's early retirement. This as Chief Executive John Lee also stressed his concern over the matter. Lee said the community has high expectations for the quality and professionalism of the city's judges, adding that the judiciary has always been an independent body. The CE further noted his confidence in Hong Kong's judges and its judicial sector, emphasizing that they will always carry out the work dutifully. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
The Legislative Council holds its first Chief Executive's dialogue with Legislative Council members, with around 2/3 of lawmakers in attendance. Chief Executive John Lee says the dialogue allows both sides to increase mutual understanding and find common ground. Lee makes his entrance alongside LegCo President Starry Lee. Chief Secretary for Administration Eric Chan and Secretary for Justice Paul Lam follow, with a total of 67 legislators participating in the session. Lee hails the event, calling the cooperation between the Chief Executive and the lawmaking body a team effort. Lee further says he views the Legislative Council as his partners in implementing reforms. President Xi Jinping hosts his Slovak counterpart, Peter Pellegrini, who is on a 3-day state visit to China with a grand welcome ceremony and bilateral meeting for continued advancement of relations. Xi calls on both sides to tap the potential for collaboration in emerging sectors while broadening cooperation in culture, sports, tourism, youth and subnational exchanges. The proceedings take place in the Great Hall of the People, where Pellegrini, the first Slovak president to visit China in 23 years, receives a ceremonial red carpet welcome following the playing of national anthems and a 21-gun salute. The 2 heads of state reviewed the People's Liberation Army Guard of Honor together and then returned to the reviewing stand to watch a march past. Foreign Minister Wang Yi and other senior officials are present at the ceremony. As they step into formal bilateral discussions, President Xi extends the hope that Slovakia will play a constructive role in promoting the sound and steady growth of China's relations with the European Union, focusing on properly handling conflicts. He stresses the key lies in equal consultation and seeking common ground while reserving differences. With Slovakia, Xi hails the country's robust friendship over the years and says China is willing to develop a strategic partnership that features mutual respect, mutual trust, mutual benefit, equality, stability and resilience, state media reports. Xi maps out collaborative efforts in trade and investment as well as frontier sectors, including clean energy, digital economy, robotics manufacturing and artificial intelligence. Pellegrini reiterates Slovakia's steadfast adherence to the One China principle and says he believes his ongoing visit will inject new impetus into economic and diplomatic exchanges. According to sources cited by Reuters, China has commenced the mass production of domestically developed deep ultraviolet lithography machines. DUV machines are a piece technology key to advanced chip making. The source said a little-known state-owned company, Shanghai Aishana Electronic Technology Group, is leading the production effort. Successful deployment of the machines would give Chinese chip makers an alternative source of equipment should Western companies that produce DUVs curb their exports to China. The domestically made machines are expected to be delivered to Chinese manufacturers this year. The six-lane Gordie Howe International Bridge that links a major land border crossing between Canada and the US is in operation following years-long construction and questions surrounding profit sharing. Connecting Windsor, Ontario and Detroit, Michigan, the 2.4-kilometer bridge offers a cheaper alternative to the privately owned Ambassador Bridge, which had a monopoly on big trucks carrying goods worth billions between the two countries, especially in service to the auto industry.
This has been a long time coming, from when the agreement was first signed through all the hoops and hurdles that we've gone through in order to get this big bridge finally built, and then the most recent delays. I think everyone in this region is just relieved that it is finally happening.
Though built and funded entirely by Canada at a cost of 6.4 billion Canadian dollars, the Trump administration has managed to broker an arrangement that will see its neighbor share some toll revenue with the US for 15 years. Michigan Governor Rick Snyder in 2012 separately negotiated a share for the state, but it won't be paid until Canada's costs are recovered, likely decades from now. What would have been a ceremonious moment for the two communities was dampened last Friday when US President Donald Trump said American representatives were uninvited from the ribbon-cutting ceremony in Windsor after he suddenly announced 50% tariffs on Canadian goods entering America. Besides Canada, a new round of steep import levies is taking effect on dozens of other US trading partners. During a visit to the General Motors factory in the US state of Michigan, Trump argues his economic policies have revived American manufacturing, even as many businesses contend the sweeping tariffs have hurt the state. Gloria Fung has more on the story.
During a visit to General Motors facility in Detroit, Michigan, US President Donald Trump defends his latest round of tariffs. Despite American manufacturing and the auto industry saying tariffs are hurting businesses, Trump says they've been amazing for GM. Trump cheers GM's plans to expand production domestically in the coming years and claims the tariffs have helped the automaker and says his policies are about putting America first. Addressing the crowd, he says Michigan finally has a president who stands up for auto workers.
So they were killing us in trucks and now we're killing them. My policy is simple. If you make your truck or your car in a foreign country, you have to pay for the privilege of sending it into our market and making a lot of money. But if you build in a factory in Michigan or someplace in our country and make your automobiles or trucks right here in America, you pay zero tax and zero tariff. You pay zero tariff. Today, I'm proud to say that the auto industry is back and America is back, and it's pulling Detroit and Michigan along with it. Our country is so successful, it's pulling it along.
He goes on to say he is not going to let other countries steal the auto industry, naming Germany, Mexico, Japan, South Korea, and neighboring Canada, which he has slapped with a 50% tariff. Once a Republican stronghold, Michigan was one of the 2024 battlegrounds Trump flipped after it backed Democratic candidate Joe Biden in the presidential election in 2020. Michigan remains the heart of the U.S. automotive sector, generating close to $350 million annually and accounting for 20% of jobs in the state. Gloria Fung, TVB News.
The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration says seats on hundreds of Boeing 737 MAX jets registered in the U.S. may require inspections in case they were incorrectly installed and needed to be fixed. The agency said if not corrected, the seats could injure passengers and crew members during an emergency landing or block the aisle and slow an evacuation. The FAA's proposed airworthiness directive, issued on Monday, would apply to 457 jets registered in the U.S. The agency only has jurisdiction over U.S. airlines, but foreign regulators typically follow FAA directives if applicable. Nearly 2,300 737 MAX jets are in service around the world, including 823 in the U.S. 337 MAX were involved in two major fatal accidents in 2018 and 2019, and another plane had a dangerous in-flight incident in 2024. According to official figures, more than 400,000 people in Hong Kong suffer from the liver disease Hepatitis B. In honor of World Hepatitis Day, the Department of Health has shared an overview of the prevention and control of viral hepatitis B in the city. Hiba Khan has more.
Every 1 in 20 people in Hong Kong has hepatitis B. That's around 410,000 people, which is 5.6% of the population, and most of them were born before 1988. The disease is a serious liver infection caused by the hepatitis B virus, leading to both acute and chronic illness. In extreme cases, it may lead to liver cancer and cirrhosis. About 80% of primary liver cancer cases are related to chronic hepatitis B. The Hong Kong Viral Hepatitis Action Plan 2025 to 2030 was announced in December 2025 to strengthen prevention and control tactics.
Since the 1980s, the Hong Kong government had implemented a series of measures, including free testing for pregnant women during the routine antenatal checking package. And also we offer babies born to mothers with hepatitis B with immunoglobulin. And also the 1988 rollout of the Universal Childhood Immunization Program.
A majority of cases are from mother-to-child transmission. The latest prevention measures are antiviral prophylaxis for pregnant women with higher hepatitis B viral load to further lower risks of this type of transmission. The Primary Healthcare Commission launched the Hepatitis B Co-Care Scheme earlier in February this year in support of the action plan. It provides screening, risk assessment, and long-term management in collaborations with family doctors for eligible high-risk individuals, such as family members or sexual partners of chronic hepatitis B patients. More than 30,000 people have since signed up for the Co-Care Scheme. And the government is keen to remind Hong Kong residents born before the launch of the childhood immunization program in 1988 to register for the scheme and get tested. Health officials urge those who are unsure of their hepatitis B status, especially high-risk individuals, to get tested as soon as possible. Current patients must remember to attend their regular follow-ups. Hiba Khan, TVB News.
The Hong Kong Trade Development Council will launch the third Hong Kong Shopping Festival this summer, expanding into the ASEAN market for the first time to help local brands capture new opportunities in cross-border e-commerce. Luna Bai has more.
This year's festival attracted a record number of participating brands, with more than 280 joining the mainland edition from August 1st to 20th, and around 100 taking part in the ASEAN event in September. Singapore and Malaysia will serve as the first ASEAN markets, with plans to gradually expand into more countries. Bruce Pond, Director of Research of HKTDC, says while Chinese mainland remains the world's largest e-commerce market, the ASEAN sector is expanding rapidly, with Singapore and Malaysia standing out for their strong purchasing power and recognition of Hong Kong's brands, creating significant opportunities for Hong Kong businesses. The festival will feature products ranging from food and health supplements to beauty, lifestyle, and designer toys, supported by live streaming promotions and exclusive online offers. Officials hope the festival will encourage more SMEs to embrace cross-border e-commerce and enhance their global brand influence.
The brand building is a very important area we are working on. So in our promotion, in this shopping fest, we have a lot of workshop, training, consultation to help the SME to build their brand.
To support businesses entering the mainland and ASEAN markets, the HKTDC is providing one-on-one consultancy, training programs, and seminars covering digital marketing, platform operations, and market strategies. Learned by TVB News.
And over to sports. Zinedine Zidane is France's new coach, replacing Didier Deschamps at the helm. French Football Federation President Philippe Diallo announced Zidane's appointment at the FFF headquarters in Paris on Tuesday, saying he has been given a 4-year contract. Zidane said he had some offers in the past 5 years to take charge of a club, but turned them all down for the France team, as it was the only thing he wanted to do. And that's the news. Here's a reminder that due to the live coverage of Kerry Fencing World Championships 2026, our main news will start at 7:50 tomorrow evening. Please join us then.